Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers!
Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lori.
And tonight we're talking about In the City, Season 1, Episode 5, Trolley Off the Tracks. Before we get going, we just would like to ask you to please subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of the social media. Give us 5-star reviews. And
If you so
share.
desire.
If you so desire. And
Yes.
share. And we appreciate everyone who has done that thus far.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of nose rubbing tonight because we're in Jersey and the pollen is off the hook. And we just went for a walk before we did this. So don't mind us. We're just going to be scratching our noses.
Yes.
Anywho, so we start out, Amanda's trying on one of her bathing suits. So Lori didn't watch Summer House. So throughout this, I'm just going to give you a little background. Amanda and Kyle are married.
Blah, blah. Yeah, I
going
got
on
that.
now. But at some point during their marriage, she decided to start a bathing suit line, and she named her bathing suits after her friends. And the top that she happened to be wearing
I
was
saw that, Sierra. I was laughing.
Sierra.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you clearly
Yeah.
know who Sierra
I
is
know enough,
because you
yes.
have a heartbeat and look at a computer. So you know
Yeah.
who Sierra is.
Yes, I know all about that. Yeah.
Lindsay brings her daughter Gemma to an indoor bike riding event, and it's like a balance bike, which they're super cute. And it's a brand deal for Lindsay. And Yvonne and Georgina meet her there with Georgina's kids. Lindsay points out that, in the bottom corner of the screen, they always put that she's an influencer. She would like to add MILF and Gemma's mom to that.
I like that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, very funny.
And they're talking about, having, then their friend comes, right? Yvonne.
And Georgina, yeah.
Yeah. And then, so they're talking about having like a mom hangover.
Yes.
I was like, oh, dude, I remember those days.
It's the
Mom
worst.
hangover is the worst. And then I was thinking, oh my God, imagine being 40 and being a mom.
No effing way, man.
No way. No.
I wouldn't even have a glass of wine. And I love my wine until my kids were in bed asleep when they were those ages.
Those ages, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Yvonne was the one talking about this, and she doesn't have children at the time. So you go ahead. But because Georgina said she had a hangover yesterday.
Right.
And her son pooped his pants and wanted to put the dirty diaper back on.
Yeah, and she put chocolate in it. That was great. I was like, whatever you got to do, girl. Whatever you got to do.
I have told Wendy every episode we've recorded thus far that she is the breakout star of this show, Georgina, the dermatologist.
Yeah, she's fun. She's great.
Yvonne does announce that she and Nick are going to start trying to get pregnant, so that's exciting for her. And she is pregnant.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that social media post. Yes.
Yeah, so she's pregnant, Danielle's pregnant, and I guess Lexi, Andrea's wife.
Yeah, I think that's great.
Me too. That's exciting.
I think it's super nice for Lindsay too to have other people in her group have the same kind of experience.
Exactly. Especially because I really think they are clearly all friends. And this is what's going to make a good reality TV show. Like Kenny and Kyle were friends. Kenny was an investor in Loverboy. So we know that's facts. That's facts.
Right.
Lindsay and Georgina, we know they were friends because Lindsay went to her for her Botox and shit,
Right.
And now they're mom friends. So it's like we knew they were friends with Andrea because he was on a season of Summer House. So this is what makes good reality TV. You can't just throw a bunch of strangers in and be like, okay.
Yeah. Have at
action.
It. Yeah.
Right. So Kyle meets Kenny at Gotham, which I think is one of Gavin's other restaurants. Kyle got his teeth whitened, so he has to watch the sauces when he orders. I really need to do that. But you know what? I drink red wine and I drink coffee and I smoke sometimes. Like I just feel like if I do it, it's going to be a waste of money.
Yeah.
Kenny brings up the conversation with Kyle where he talked about his relationship and he says the only takeaway was that Kenny said there's no spark, like when it was relayed back to the
Right.
other people. So Kyle says this is a big misunderstanding, and he's basically totally throwing Andrea under the bus.
Well, I think also it's something that you weren't given the full context. Like when he
Right.
says, when you hear Kyle say that he was explaining it, that he said enough spark for it to last, that's totally different than I'm worried about a spark.
Right.
Those are two totally different things. And then when you hear Kyle say that he only brought it up because he related to it, then it made it all the more of a reasonable type of conversation.
Right.
I think, a little bit with Andrea too, there's a language barrier there. And,
Oh, yeah.
they kind of mess things up.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a language barrier.
Yeah.
So at this point,
So,
Kyle hijacks the conversation and starts talking about him and Amanda.
yeah. And I didn't realize, because I didn't watch Summer House, I didn't realize that Kyle and Amanda have been married 10 years.
So they've been together for 10 years. They've been
Together
married
for
for
10 years.
4.
Oh, okay, that's totally different. I thought he was saying they were married for 10 years. I was, good God, you've been in this shit show for 10 years? What are you,
Well,
crazy?
but let me put something else in perspective for you. They've been together 10 years. They've been married for 4. And upon this separation, Kyle has announced that they haven't had sex in 7 years. Now, would you marry someone that you have only been dating, that you've been dating for 6 years and were only having sex for the first 3? Would you marry someone you weren't even having sex with?
No.
No. But the
No.
thing is that they started dating. So when Summer House started, Amanda was
The side piece, I
a
remember you
booty
saying.
call.
Yeah,
She was a booty call. But then their relationship evolved. She became the girlfriend. Eventually, she became the fiance. Then she became the wife. But would you marry someone you weren't having sex with? 3 years, that's, you're making a choice at this point.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
It's bizarre. That's
I
bizarre.
totally agree with you.
That's no kind of relationship. But I thought it was good advice that Kenny gave him, Kyle, kind of take this time to get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think that he's just, and this is only my observation just from watching the show, is that he's kind of, I think he's hidden from himself. I think he's been very busy partying and just drinking. And I think that he has a lot of stuff that he needs to work out for himself that he
Mm-hmm.
has not taken the time to do. And he's just kind of just brushed over everything with just partying and drinking and not growing up, So I think in actuality, that's probably really good advice for him.
Well, it's definitely good advice for him.
Because it
But what?
seems to me, watching the whole thing, that him and Amanda are neck and neck in fucked upness.
Yes. Yes. I think that their relationship has gotten so
Dysfunctional.
codependent. But now it's like it's like their brother and sister living together.
Yeah.
That's what it's become. And it's great for to be friends in your marriage, but
that's not a
not this
marriage.
codependent, I'm just with you because I couldn't handle not being with you. I
Right.
couldn't handle living my life without being with you. But at this point, Kyle acknowledges that this is one last ditch effort to save their marriage. So he's acknowledging that. And to me, that's important because Wendy and I disagree on this very much. Wendy thinks that Kyle is just a Peter Pan and doesn't want to grow up. I think Kyle was a douchebag of a husband. And Amanda had every right to leave him. She did not have the right to move on with West, who is her best friend's ex, who effed the best friend over and over and over again.
Right. But
I don't
like I
look at
said, I
Kyle
think
just as a Peter Pan. No, he was a
right.
horrible boyfriend, a horrible fiance. He cheated on her when they were engaged. He cheated
Right.
on her when they were married. He's a
But
jerk.
but this is the thing. She's just as much of a jerk because she stayed.
She stayed.
She
Absolutely.
continues, she perpetuated, and I think she's a big hider too. I think she just likes to live in chaos and mess and get high all the time and not look at her life either.
Right.
I think the two of them are hiding from themselves.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? Say they weren't on a show and there were no cameras. they wouldn't be where they are today. They probably would have separated a long time ago.
A long time ago. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're at Plinko with Yvonne, Nick, Danielle, and Owen. What?
Now,
They're
have you
the
ever played
funnest stuff
Jenga?
in the city? Oh, yeah, I've played Jenga.
I've never played Jenga.
Oh, we have to play
Yeah.
Jenga.
Yeah. I haven't played it. I was watching, when I was watching the show, I was like, I never played Jenga. Yeah, it looked
You
like
know
a
what?
cute
One of the
place with the
best things in
games.
therapy I've ever witnessed, I went to a therapy session with someone, and it was a Jenga game, but there were questions written on every block. So every time you
Oh,
took a block out, you had to read the question and answer it.
I like that.
I mean, we could make that into a game not therapy related. Like, we don't have to get that deep, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
isn't that a good idea?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So Yvonne is Lindsay's friend, but she says she never had beef with Danielle. She's always team Lindsay. And if Lindsay's moved past whatever her gig is with Danielle, then Yvonne can hang out with her. So Danielle's from Summer House also. She hasn't been on the last few seasons. Lindsay and Danielle were very close. I'm going to just give you a little bit of background. Danielle dated Carl, who's also from Summer House, met Lindsay. Then Lindsay dated Carl. But it was all good. It was all good.
Right.
Like, Danielle and Carl were like nothing. It was like a nothing burger.
Right.
What they did. Carl and Lindsay eventually got engaged. Danielle, as Lindsay's friend, had a lot to say about how fast they were moving. And when they planned their engagement party, they didn't include her, and she had feelings about that. Like, she has kind of had a lot of negative things to say about Lindsay's choices over the past couple of years. So that's kind of where their beef is at.
Right.
Yeah. So Nick asks how things are with Lindsay, and Danielle says, I think we're good. I think we're taking baby steps, but everything's good. And then we find out that Nick and Yvonne are not married in the States.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I guess they got married in Mexico, but never filed for a marriage license.
Yeah, here. Yeah.
Then Yvonne asks Owen if his divorce is finalized, and he says no, but his soon-to-be ex lives in New York. And then Danielle says that a lot of people are talking shit and saying she's a homewrecker, and then she starts to cry. And even though it's not true, it's still hurtful.
Well, this is the thing. And this is just the reality. I'm not saying whether it's right. But when you're dating someone who's still married, you run the risk of that being said about you. And like I said, I'm not saying it's right, but you do run the risk. We do find out later on in the episode a little more about her and why that word is such a trigger for her.
Right.
Which I really made a lot more sense. Her behavior, in regard all around that whole situation made a little more sense to me once
Absolutely.
she really explains it a little more. So we'll get to that. But you do run that risk.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you wish you had a space where you could talk about all of the things in midlife that nobody says out loud with people who have both experience and expertise? The hormones, the emotions, the changes in your body, relationships, and work. The identity that does not quite fit anymore. Messy Midlife is 3 naturopathic doctors and 1 therapist having the unscripted, unfiltered conversations about all of it. We explore the strange, powerful transformation hiding inside as we navigate finding ourselves again and letting go of what no longer fits.
0 filters, 0 pretending, 0 apologies. 100% real. Join us for Messy Midlife anywhere you listen and become a part of our community.
Yeah. And listen, you're on a show with people you're not on the best terms with.
Right.
It's going to come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to come out. Then Kenny and Whitney are jogging through the city. I don't know how people jog through the city, except remember when we went to the reality awards and we were down by the water and people were jogging up and down that road.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just say this. I don't know how anyone jogs
in general.
Ever.
I know.
Anywhere, at any time. It makes no sense to me, except for if you want to practice for when you need to really run away from someone.
If somebody's chasing you.
Right. Other than that, I don't get the concept. I just don't get the whole nothing.
We're walkers.
Yeah, we'll
walkers.
Walk.
We'll happily walk. So Kenny's trying to find his dad. they fell out of touch 25 years ago. As soon as he said he hired a PI, I'm like, it's got to be Bo Dietl. Please be Bo Dietl.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about that situation. I thought that situation was a little effed. I mean, when Kenny stopped going to see his dad, he was not an adult. And I think the dad really holds the responsibility of making more of an effort to make that work. I mean, if that was me and my kid, decided he didn't want to come over for the summer to London, even if I had a family, I'd be like, you know what? Sorry, fam. I'm going to go to New York for a week and make sure that I keep a connection with my kid.
No, I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not up to someone who's not an adult
Right.
to
Like, okay, you don't want to
foster
come
that
for the whole
relationship.
summer. No problem. Because he was
right.
at, what did he say? He was like 12, 13. Like,
Right,
he
right.
wanted to be with his friends. I'm sure there was
Right,
a
and
cute little girl involved.
it is probably a little shitty about it too, that his
Right.
dad had a whole new family, I'm sure. But
Right.
it's the dad's responsibility to foster that relationship. I just
Totally.
I thought it was messed up.
Yeah. And listen, you're right. Wherever he was, he could have taken 1 week out of every
Right.
year and been like, I'm going to spend it with my son.
Right. So
Yeah,
I just thought
totally
that was
agree.
messed up.
So Kenny says that he feels like this may help repair his feelings of abandonment. And then, like Lori said, that happened when he was like 13, 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
His mom gave him the choice not to go and he didn't go. And that was it. So,
Right.
and he does acknowledge that this could have an effect on his relationship issues. I'm sure that having a father that you have not seen in 25 years would give you some abandonment issues.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No matter the circumstances.
Right.
It's just like after 25 years, you're like, holy shit, I haven't seen my father in 25 years. Like, that's fucked up.
Right. Especially if you're starting to get into a relationship that you think could be serious, it really, he lost his mom. So now it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's understandable.
Yeah. So the PI calls. He located information on his dad through his stepbrother's son. So they're now searching in England and the U.S., and the PI says things move quickly, so we could probably have some information for you in a few days. So now we're heading out onto the trolley, and Kyle and Amanda meet the group, and they're thinking they're going on a bar crawl, but really they're just going to peddle Loverboy anywhere and everywhere.
But it's still a bar crawl. It's still a fun time. I wouldn't have a problem. And Amanda did seem to have a little bit of an attitude about it. And I feel like where she said about herself that she was going to do a half-ass is like a perfect description for her.
Yeah, she's so busy, but she wants this relationship to work, so she's going to be supportive.
Right. She's so busy moving out.
Right.
But now she could spend time with her husband on this trolley, but she's a little busy moving out. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Gavin wanted a party bus, not a trolley.
Yeah, what is his problem? I don't like him.
I feel like
Gavin, don't like him. He is very insecure, and I feel like he's got some weird obsession with Kenny. He's weird.
I think Gavin wanted to be like the breakout star in the city. Mm-hmm. And I think that he's trying, like he has seen, he's been friends with them for a long time. Lindsay is a very big presence on a show. And I haven't always been a fan of Lindsay. I actually am right now, especially after her sit down with Amanda on Summer House, The Aftermath. But I haven't always been a big fan of her. She's a very big presence. And I think that Gavin is trying to follow in her footsteps to be like a breakout star. He's not. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have that star appeal.
No.
Like I said, I believe Georgina does, though. Could see that girl getting her own spinoff. But anyway. And then, so Whitney says in her confessional, and while she's talking to Kenny, that Gavin pretty much called her boring last week. And it's going to be a little awkward for her to see him. If I were Whitney, I would have been furious when he said what he said to her.
Fuck off.
Exactly. Georgina's at work and her kids are there and they're like pushing their faces up against the door.
It's great.
She's like, I'm so sorry. Those are my kids.
Yeah.
So this is funny because she says she has a Scrotox appointment and Scrotox is to make the balls smooth, right?
I was laughing at this. I was like, oh my God.
Well, on the Valley, Zach went for Scrotox, and I thought he said that. I'm gonna have to ask Wendy. I thought he said that the Scrotox was to make them look old and wrinkly. I'm like, who the fuck wants old and wrinkly balls? Like,
No, I don't think it's to make him look old and wrinkly.
no. So I'm glad she cleared that up for us,
Yeah.
Georgina.
Something I really didn't need to know, but okay.
Well, just in case you and Jamie are, or you and your
No.
lover,
No.
interested.
No.
So Kyle's asking his friends basically to go into these bars and ask them to carry Loverboy. The first bar did not seem too interested.
The poor bartender. I'm
I
sure
know.
I'm sure it's not even her decision.
Yeah, of
And
course it's
everybody's
not.
standing there staring at her. Like, what if it really sucked? I was like,
Exactly.
it's horrible.
Well, the producer asked Gavin, "Do you sell Loverboy in your bar?" And he's like, "Yeah, but they don't sell very well." I mean,
Which is not a good sign.
It's not a good sign.
It's somebody you know carries it, and if they can't sell, if somebody you know who owns restaurants and bars can't sell your shit,
Right.
I don't know what's going on.
I started watching Summer House during COVID. It was one of the shows I binged. And once I learned about Loverboy, I looked into it because remember, at that point, you could literally just, order alcohol because nobody was leaving their houses. I want to say it was like $25 for a 4-pack. I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
no.
No.
Because they're smaller, they're thin cans.
Yeah, there's those skinny ones. I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You better be
I never
rocking.
got it.
You better be rocking for that amount of money.
Exactly. So on the trolley, Gavin asks Kenny and Kyle if they've cleared things up, and they say yes. And Andrea says he feels sorry if there was miscommunication, but Kenny should have dealt with it differently, and Kenny agrees.
Which is
They
good.
all-
I thought that was good of him.
It was, but listen, I didn't think he was super aggressive, but I always feel like since we're from Jersey, and when these guys kind of act Jersey, we're like, but he's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But whatever. The next venue was a liquor store, and they do get him to commit.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So back on the trolley, Lindsay says that she heard Danielle and Yvonne went on a double date, and Yvonne mentions that the group has discussed Owen's marriage, and Owen mentions the group text with Amanda and Kyle, Amanda's good friend Katie, and her husband, I believe, Matt.
Yeah, Katie and Matt. Yeah.
We
They
haven't
were
really
in on
seen
it.
I don't think we've seen Matt at all, and we've seen Katie once at Amanda's apartment when she was packing up, right? Amanda says Katie has been one of her best friends since 3rd grade. Now, side note, on a group chat between Lori, me, Wendy, and cousin Gina, something we shared, somebody from Amanda's high school, which is Hillsborough, New Jersey, hour away, wrote that Amanda was horrible during high school, and this girl, Katie, like they were like the mean girls. They were like in a group of 9 friends. They called themselves the 9, and they were horrible to people if you weren't in their clique. Now,
I could see that.
absolutely.
I could see that. And Kyle was definitely a little tanked on the trolley.
This is the thing. Kyle's always tanked. If there's drinking involved, Kyle has no threshold. He does not know how to handle his liquor.
Right.
And
right.
this is why I don't blame her for, like, she doesn't want to go out with him. He gets sloppy. And then what?
Right.
She's got to take care of him and get him home?
Clean it
No.
up. Yeah, no. Yeah.
Who would want to have a baby with a guy like that? Who would
Yeah,
want to have sex with a guy like that?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So that's just what he does.
Amanda did get a little nasty, though. I was like, girl, you were talking about it. You were talking about it,
Absolutely.
so I don't know what your deal is.
So Danielle and Amanda have like a weird kind of dynamic. They've had ebbs and flows. They've never been super close, but on Summer House, like they either really got along or they were not getting along.
Or they were not getting along. Yeah.
But Danielle's also very close with Katie, which is interesting. I guess once Amanda introduced them, they like became fast friends. And Danielle doesn't want Katie to be in the middle of the situation, but she was in the group text with Amanda and Kyle. So she's in the middle of the situation.
She's in the middle of it, absolutely.
Yeah. So Amanda says that, the group text wasn't the first time the 4 of them had a conversation. And Danielle's like, interesting about my relationship. Okay. Like,
Right, behind my back. Right, okay.
right. And Danielle's like, I'm not in a group chat with anybody talking about your marriage, which I thought was a really good point.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda's like, this is a conversation to have with Katie and Matt because they brought it to us. And
Right, but don't act like you're not in. Don't act like you're not
Right.
participating.
Right, and she's right. Like, nobody I mean, listen, we're putting shit in that group chat with us and cousin Dina all the time because we're like, "Look at this." Like, that's
Right.
what they were doing. Like,
Right.
"Oh, Danielle's a homewrecker. Look at this." So Amanda does start acting like a toddler and starts yelling.
Mhm.
And she asks, "Why is your issue with us?" when Kate and Maddie brought it up. And Danielle does kind of blow her off, and Amanda says that she's always felt dismissed by Danielle and that she doesn't take her serious. And then when she has a problem with Kyle, Danielle always takes Kyle's side. And then they do flash back to Summer House where you see Kyle like, this is who Kyle is. Like, Amanda wanted to start a bathing suit line, and he's like, "But I want to be a DJ." And guess what happened? Well, she did do her bathing suit line, but I
Oh,
don't
he
think she
did
does
do
much with
DJ.
it.
Right.
And now he's a DJ.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, Kyle put it in the chat, but Amanda's like, he's not the one that brought it up in the first place. But she's just proving Danielle's point. Like, you're perpetuating it by sharing
Right.
it and
Right.
talking about it, and now we're talking about it on the show. And I liked how Kenny and Whitney just got off the trolley. They're like,
Yeah,
we're
they're
not
like,
into
"Well,
it.
yeah, we're not into it. Yeah. No, who wants
Yeah.
this?"
And then Amanda very, snarkily says, "But isn't it true?" And
Right.
that's when Danielle's like, yeah, I'm good on
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And then she, in her confessional, she explains that it's a whole Latina thing, like the
Mm.
whole made in Manhattan. It's like you're always the mistress. So then it made more sense how much it affected her. It made a lot more sense after she kind of explained it like that.
Yeah, like it was triggering to her, right.
Yeah.
I never looked at it that way, but
No, right,
I
yeah, but it makes
I'm
sense.
not a Latina woman, so why would
Right,
I?
right. But it definitely made, her
Absolutely.
reaction made more sense.
Yeah. So thankfully the trolley ride's over now.
Yes, thank God.
And then Lindsay and Danielle meet up for pizza
The
and
pizza looked really good, I'm gonna say.
so good.
Looked really good.
I love a hot honey pepperoni pizza.
It looked really good.
Yeah. Lindsay asked her if she was okay since the trolley ride, and Danielle brings up the fact that it's very triggering. Yeah, as a Latina woman, yeah. So that's when
Yeah.
that happened.
Yeah.
No, sorry, that was when they got off the trolley. Now they go get pizza. I'm very tired. And Danielle's like, "Can I please come to your apartment because it looks beautiful?" By the way, listen, God bless Lindsay because she has the nicest apartment out of all of them. That apartment is beautiful. So whatever brand deals she's getting is
She's
paying
doing well.
the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lindsay's like, "I'm hesitant because I don't know where we stand." And Danielle's like, "I don't want you to think I'm not trying." And then Lindsay in her confessional is like, "I do believe people can grow and mature. I've grown and matured, but I still have my guard up." And quite honestly, after the way Danielle acted with the engagement party, like, I don't blame her. She literally made it all about herself. She was pissed off because Carl planned an engagement on the beach and then he was bringing Lindsay back to a restaurant where all of their family was going to be. And this was all happening in the Hamptons. Like, normally nobody's there. He really put a lot of effort into it. And I believe he had Kyle help him. But Danielle was so jacked up that she wasn't involved in the planning. She went to every person at the party to complain that she wasn't involved in the planning. It's like,
Oh, yeah, see, that's messed up.
it was really strange.
Yeah,
Really, really
messed up.
strange.
Yeah.
Lindsay asked Danielle when Owen will be getting divorced, and she says it's just a matter of paperwork. And then Lindsay says that she was dating a guy who was separated for 2 years, and they came home one night, and his ex was sitting in the dark drinking wine. I would freak out.
Yeah. Lindsay did seem like she was giving her a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah, well, that's probably because Danielle has given her a hard time, like, about
Right,
how
so
fast she moved with Carl. And then when she was
right.
pregnant with Gemma, she's like, "What do you mean you're moving in? You've only been dating him
I
2
saw
months."
that. Yeah,
Because Lindsay got pregnant, like, pretty quick after
right,
meeting the father of her daughter.
right.
But Danielle says she doesn't want to put a timeline on anything, but she does want to get married and have kids. So
Yeah.
then we see Kenny and Whitney are back at the apartment, and the PI had given him 2 numbers to contact his dad. They tried both, and they didn't get it. It was like a wrong full
Right.
service.
All I have to say about this whole situation is Kenny needs his money back. Because why
It-
didn't the PI give him the face? Like, they found that
Sleuth
shit.
Whitney got
Yeah, like, on it.
everything he needed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Bo
why?
Dietl, give
Why?
Kenny his money back, Bo
Yeah,
Dietl.
like
Give him his
why
money
didn't you
back.
get him the Facebook? Why didn't you? Like, she looked up the number. It's like
Yeah, like how are you not finding people on social
What?
media?
I was like, get your money back, dude, because I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then they
so
finally end up, reaching the father's wife, and it was so nice because she says, "Oh, we've been looking for you," and you could just tell on Kenny's face. It was just so sweet.
it
It
was
was really
sweet, but
nice.
I don't think Kenny's been in hiding. If they were really looking for him, I think they would have found him.
Well, look, look how the world works. Kenny gave money to some guy and couldn't find him.
And he got him bad phone numbers.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you're talking about, two 65, 70-year-olds. How they
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm happy for Kenny, so I'll leave it there. I'm happy for him. Hopefully this goes on to a good thing. So Amanda's moving out of the apartment. She had a full breakdown the night before, she says, and she does feel like it's a chapter closing, even though this is to save the relationship. So it looks like she was only taking one dog with her. Did you notice that?
Yeah, she was trying to take him her own dog, yeah.
So she goes to say goodbye to Kyle. He looks like he was on a Zoom call, but he finally gets off. And Amanda asks him to, this is what I can't stand. Amanda asks him to explain what happened last night, and he says he doesn't have any good justification. He's running from his problems. So he says, she said, you went to a marathon, you don't come home until midnight, then you go back out and you come back in with a woman.
Well, I think he brought several people back to the apartment, it sounded like.
She's
And
like,
a
what are you
woman.
doing? And his only answer is, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, what? I wrote down, Kyle and Amanda are a hot mess.
Yeah.
They're just a mess. The two of them are a mess.
And then he goes into how she smokes pot and okay, well, you fucking drink until you fall asleep standing up in your kitchen. So I'd rather be with somebody who smokes weed every night to maybe chill out than somebody who's getting sloppy ass drunk and needs to be taken care of like a baby.
Right. Yeah. They're just a mess. Like,
yeah, they're definitely
it's the best thing
a
in the
mess.
world that they're not together anymore because they're just two messed up people in a messed up relationship.
I mean, his defense is, well, you knew it was Marathon Sunday. This guy sucks. He sucks. He's always sucked. I can't stand him. It's not at the Teresa level. It's so fucking close, though. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
And so
I'm not a fan of her either, though.
No,
I'm really
I
not.
know.
I'm really not a fan of her either. She just seems like a mess too. Like they're just
Listen, if
no
she
good
were
together.
screwing anybody other than West Wilson right now, she'd be on top of the world because nobody wanted to see her stay with Kyle. I agree with you. And I know Wendy says the same thing. Like she was no peach in this marriage either. I get it. But she would be having her Ariana moment right now if she were not screwing West.
With that
she made
clown.
a big mistake.
Yeah, because he's a clown.
Oh my God, he's the worst.
And I saw a thing where Lindsay did a big post on him, like, because I guess he's not going back to Summer House.
And she brought him on.
Yeah, and that's what she said in that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then supposedly, allegedly, he tried to get her, Carl, and Kyle fired. I don't know if that's true. I don't think he's got that kind of pull. I think that's crazy to think that, but whatever.
Yeah. Who knows? So we shall see what happens next.
Do you like it, though? Because I know you're not a big Housewives fan, but do you like it? You don't love it?
No.
I honestly just like the fact that they are actually friends.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It does seem, I understand what you're saying about that whole concept of the people being friends on the reality TV show. It definitely does make a difference.
Yeah, like look at how good Rhode Island was. Because they had established friendships.
Yeah.
Jersey's going to suck because they're taking these three people that don't know anybody and sticking them with, whack job Teresa, screwy Louie, and then the rest of them.
Yeah,
Jersey's going to suck. You heard it here first.
How about Melania getting arrested?
I know.
I so wonder if it had anything to do with Lou.
Well, listen, allegedly it does. We don't know. But allegedly the call came from inside the house. So somebody was inside the house calling the cops because Melania was going at it with somebody.
Right.
And I would
And
imagine
then
it's him.
supposedly the other sister got involved, but yeah, I could see that.
But somebody put it in our group chat today with Cousin Gina that this could also be a plot for a storyline for Teresa
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
she
yeah.
had nothing going on. She
Yeah,
never
nothing.
has anything going on.
Right. So, yeah.
And she
who
took
knows?
a 50% pay cut, so
Oh,
she had to do something. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, man.
So we shall see. We shall see for next time.
All right. Well, thank you for listening and watching. And please, subscribe, follow, like, share.
And blah,
Thank
blah,
you.
blah.
Blah,
Okay.
blah, blah.
Bye.
Bye.